United States military has carried out a targeted strike on an alleged narco-terrorist network in Ecuador. We are following this breaking story closely.
Have you ever wondered what fierce battles are silently taking place in the dark behind our everyday peace? On March 6, 2026, a lightning strike brought down a notorious narco-terrorist network in Ecuador, revealing a military campaign with a historic handshake between major powers. What really happened at that lair? How did the coalition forces manage to sever the octopus tentacles of this transnational crime? Let's decode this entire breathtaking event right now. If you find this topic fascinating, don't forget to hit like, leave a comment to share your perspective, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next shocking stories. On Friday, March the 6th, 2026, a significant step in the effort to protect regional security was taken when the United States military conducted a targeted strike against a narco-terrorist network in the country of Ecuador. According to information from the United States Southern Command, this operation was the result of close and rhythmic coordination between U.S. forces and the host nation's armed forces. This action not only demonstrates the power of the law, but also proves the consensus of nations in dealing with common threats aimed at the safety of innocent people. This campaign was confirmed by the U.S. Southern Command as an extremely close and rhythmic coordinated effort. The focus of the action was lethal kinetic measures aimed directly at terrorist organizations. The goal was not to create panic, but to eradicate the very roots of the seeds that harm society. This is an absolutely necessary step to protect the innocence of the youth from the peril of drugs. We can clearly see the determination of nations in maintaining security. Pentagon spokesman Mr. Sean Parnell shared valuable information about the context of this campaign. He stated that the military action was carried out based on an official request from the Ecuadorian government. This demonstrates profound respect for national sovereignty and the spirit of international cooperation. The common goal of both countries is to completely dismantle dangerous drug trafficking criminal networks. The attack directly targeted a resupply complex to disrupt the logistics system. Breaking the supply lines and operational systems of criminals carries immense strategic significance. Although there is currently no clear information on the number of casualties, this disruption has certainly prevented toxic seeds. Just imagine how many families have been saved from broken homes thanks to this timely action. That is the profound human value hidden behind the extremely tough decisions of the leaders. General Francis L. Donovan, commander of the U.S. Southern Command, directly directed the coalition forces in this campaign. Under the deployment of the Secretary of War, he brought invaluable support to the country of Ecuador. General Donovan assessed this as a strategic success for all nations in the Western Hemisphere. These nations all share a strong commitment to completely disrupt and defeat drug-related criminality. This general's assessment opens up a great lesson for us about the power of solidarity and strategic vision. In our daily lives, we also frequently face difficulties and challenges that seem impossible to overcome. Have we really paid adequate attention to protecting our children from the traps of modern society? When we know how to unite and have a clear common goal, every obstacle can be resolved. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth also spoke up to confirm this event through a message on social media. He emphasized that this action aligns exactly with the direction previously set by senior leadership. The United States is taking drastic measures right on land to destroy those who sow devastation. He also sent his sincere thanks to the partners in Ecuador for their bravery and relentless spirit of cooperation throughout the past time. Transparency and the acknowledgement of the contributions of companions is an extremely important virtue that we can learn from. Spokesman Sean Parnell once again emphasized that this coordinated action sends a very stern message. That is, criminal networks will never find any safe haven in our region. The United States is committed to continuing to stand side by side with nations to eradicate corruption and restore peace. This determination is not only a political statement, but also a promise of a brighter future for humanity. Peace does not come naturally. Sometimes we must fight and use the power of righteousness to protect it. If you find this information and these lessons useful, please like the video to spread positive messages to more people. Your small action will contribute to building a strong community full of understanding. Looking broadly at the surrounding context, we see Friday's campaign is just a part of a much larger effort. The forces of the two countries have deployed a series of joint operations since the beginning of the week targeting suspects. The persistence in the fight against crime is proof that good will never step back before evil. Every small effort contributes to the overall picture of a safer and healthier world. A few days earlier, the U.S. Embassy in Ecuador also shared extremely gratifying information about international cooperation. The United States successfully coordinated with European police forces and local authorities to deliver a powerful blow. The transnational criminal organization led by Hernan Rulova Barzola was completely dismantled after a long period of surveillance. This group was believed to have close ties with the extremely notorious gang named Los Lobos. The alliance of cross-border criminal organizations shows the scale and level of danger of this agonizing problem. However, multinational cooperation also proves that the network of good is always much larger and stronger. What can each individual contribute to join hands with the community to build a cleaner and safer living environment? The answer begins with raising awareness and constantly educating the younger generation about the potential hazards around them. These large-scale military and law enforcement efforts do not only take place in one country, but spread across many regions. To date, forces have conducted at least 43 strikes targeting illicit trafficking operations. The Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific regions are frequent hotspots for these large-scale interdiction campaigns. It is deeply saddening to know that these tense confrontations have resulted in 150 people losing their lives. These casualty figures are a very strict reminder of the price to be paid for violent drug crime. Behind every number are traumatized families, ruined lives, and deeply divided communities. We never promote violence, but we look at the situation to see the urgency of preventive education. Do not forget to hit subscribe to the channel to continue following meaningful stories and together build a knowledgeable and safe community. Community education plays a thoroughly essential role in preventing the development of social evils from their very roots. When we equip the youth with the right knowledge, they will have enough bravery to reject deadly temptations. Families and schools must be the most solid fortresses protecting the souls and futures of the nation's young shoots. Understanding and sharing will help them feel safe and never get lost in life. The fact that the Ecuadorian government boldly requested international assistance is a testament to their courage in facing difficulties. Sometimes admitting one's weaknesses and seeking help is the very first step to becoming stronger and more complete. In personal life, we should also learn to open our hearts and rely on those around us when encountering great challenges. No one can overcome all storms alone without the support of the community and loved ones. The logistic systems of criminal organizations are often very sophisticated and complex, requiring sharpness and investigative work. Targeting the exact resupply complex shows the thorough research and smart strategy of the coalition forces of the two countries. How can the lessons about vigilance and the spirit of solidarity be spread more widely in daily life? We need to start from these real-life stories to turn them into profound moral lessons to pass down to our descendants. Drug crime not only destroys physical health, but also erodes our core moral human values. They exploit weakness and difficult circumstances to drag innocent people down a misguided path with no way out. Therefore, destroying these networks means we are rescuing millions of souls struggling in the flow of life. This is a battle not only using the power of the law, but also using love and the steadfastness of the whole society. Efforts to restore peace always go hand in hand with drastic actions to eradicate corruption and abuse of power. The Pentagon spokesman was very subtle when mentioning this element in his official media messages. Corruption is the fertile ground for crime to flourish and extend its octopus tentacles into every corner of social life. Eradicating corruption means we have severed the most important lifeline of these extremely dangerous smuggling gangs. The event that took place on March the 6th is not only a military victory, but also a triumph of a noble, humane spirit. It affirms that no matter how hard darkness tries to cover the light of justice, and conscience will always shine brightly. Soldiers and authorities have had to sacrifice a lot of effort to bring peace to small residential areas. We need to cherish those efforts and turn gratitude into practical actions in our everyday lives. Every news bulletin we read is not merely an information update, but also an opportunity to reflect upon ourselves. When seeing the heartbreaking consequences from narco-terrorist organizations, we appreciate warm family affection even more. Let's spend more time listening and talking with our children, helping them clearly understand what the true value of an honest life is. Only sincere love has enough power to repel all material temptations and deceitful sweet talk. This campaign is also clear proof that our world is becoming more tightly connected than ever before. The participation of European organizations like Europol alongside the United States and Ecuador creates a solid, unbreakable united front. In a flat world, global issues always require global solutions and the consensus of everyone. This cooperation has strongly inspired us regarding the spirit of solidarity regardless of national borders or skin color. The story of international coordination also reminds us of the importance of building positive relationships at work. Whoever you are and whatever job you are doing, support from colleagues and partners is always the key to success. Do not hesitate to share difficulties and together find the most optimal solutions for any problems arising during the working process. Collective strength is always vastly superior to the solitary efforts of any single outstanding individual in society. In the context of wildly developing information technology today, criminal organizations are also constantly upgrading their sophisticated operating methods. They use the internet network to scatter toxic messages and attract young people who are eager to assert themselves. Therefore, improving digital awareness capacity for the community is an urgent task, no less than military campaigns in real life. Parents and teachers need to guide children on how to filter information and protect themselves against unhealthy cultural streams. The struggle against drugs and terrorism is a long, arduous journey demanding relentless patience and determination. Campaigns like this are important milestones marking humanity's progress on the path toward perfection. However, to maintain this achievement, we cannot entirely rely on armed forces or the state legal system. Every single citizen must self-consciously realize their responsibility in preserving a civilized living environment and complying with moral standards. When the living environment becomes safer, economic and social development opportunities accordingly open up widely for everyone. Areas once haunted by the ghost of gangs can now rise to become prosperous cultural and educational centers. Children can skip to school without having to fear the dark traps already set on every familiar street corner. This is exactly the highest goal that all nations in the world are collectively aiming for in the near future. Look at the dedication of authorities like General Donovan or Mr. Sean Parnell to take them as an example of the spirit of utmost dedication. They have worked day and night to ensure that messages of peace and justice are conveyed most powerfully. We can also contribute to society in our own ways through small but profoundly meaningful actions. A timely word of encouragement and action helping the vulnerable is enough to light a warm fire in the surrounding community. The event of March 6, 2026 will be mentioned many more times in research documents on modern international security. It is a costly lesson about never being allowed to be subjective before potential threats to human safety. At the same time, it is also an epic praising the bravery of silent soldiers who are guarding the peace for humanity day and night. Let us collectively remember these lessons to self-train ourselves and build a more brilliant future for generations to come. This battle to protect the right will certainly still harbor many hardships and unexpected challenges ahead, requiring the persistence and joint effort of all citizens globally. The rhythmic cooperation between the U.S. and Ecuador, along with other prestigious international organizations like Europol, has drawn a bright path guiding future peace-building efforts. True peace does not come naturally. It is crystallized from courage, selfless sacrifice, and the iron will of silent heroes. The law enforcement team had to go through grueling days and months of investigation, full of hardships and challenges, to secure a complete and safe sweep. The secret surveillances in the middle of the night, the sophisticated professional tactics, and the silent sacrifices of the special agents are rarely fully and clearly known to the public. They have wagered both their lives and their families' happiness to step into an uncompromising war with aggressive criminals. The deepest gratitude we can offer them is to consciously live in accordance with the law and protect our families. The spirit of coordinated combat between federal and local agencies is an eloquent testament to the power of solidarity in the great task of protecting national security. Administrative or jurisdictional boundaries cannot hinder the shared determination to dismantle large-scale criminal organizations. When all resources are gathered, when intelligence streams are shared in a timely manner, an invisible yet enormously vast legal net is cast. No dark force can escape the encirclement of intelligence and the courageous spirit of selfless dedication to the people. Looking back at the flow of events, the lesson on building a moral foundation and life skills for the younger generation becomes more urgent than ever for us. The family must be the most solid fortress where children are educated about core life values and the clear distinction between good and evil. We cannot merely depend on authorities to solve the tip of the problem, but must proactively prevent it from the very roots. A soul nurtured by love and knowledge will have enough resistance against all deadly temptations. In the digital age, the spread of toxic information and illicit transaction methods are becoming increasingly complex and unpredictable. Drug crimes continually mutate and exploit virtual cyberspace networks to approach naive, inexperienced victims. This requires parents and schools to constantly update their knowledge and accompany their children in both the real world and the trap-filled online world. Creating an open, transparent communication environment will help them confidently share their difficulties and stay away from sophisticated scammers. The United States Drug Enforcement Administration understands clearly that behind every case are hundreds of agonizing stories of vulnerable victims and their families. It is that profound empathy that has urged investigators to constantly strive to overcome all dangerous barriers to bring crimes out into the light of justice. Their work is not simply a profession to make a living, but a sacred mission of vital importance to the security and order of the entire nation. Each of their victories is a joyful musical note dotted into the symphony of the community's peace. Every effort to stop the expansion of drugs carries a profound humanitarian meaning, aiming toward the goal of liberating human beings from the invisible chains of dark addiction. Drugs not only destroy the human physical body, but also corrode the will, degrade moral values, and strip away the most basic freedoms of a true citizen. The uncompromising struggle against drug crimes is exactly the war to protect dignity and the right to live in a healthy environment for every individual across the vast world. The perseverance and patience of law enforcement agencies in the process of dismantling this sophisticated criminal ring is an invaluable lesson on the spirit of fully dedicating oneself to the greater good. They do not mind the hardships and difficulties, not stepping back before risk that directly threaten their lives to excellently accomplish the historic mission entrusted to them. Absolute loyalty to the ideal of protecting justice and social order has turned them into silent heroes amid peacetime full of turbulence. All genuine devotion for the country and the people deserves to be engraved in history and forever honored hereafter. What do you think countries around the world need to do more to not only eradicate the tip of the problem, but also thoroughly resolve the root causes leading to the formation of these criminal networks? Eradicating hunger and reducing poverty, creating stable jobs, and constantly improving the quality of education in vulnerable areas are perhaps the most sustainable and long-term remedies to heal society. When people have an adequate and respected life, they will automatically stay away from the darkness of crime. Finally, the story from the distant country of Ecuador reminds us all of a truth that global security is a unified block that cannot be separated or divided. The peace of a nation, no matter how small, has a close connection and a direct impact on the stability of the entire region and the world. Constantly nurturing the spirit of mutual affection, the supremacy of the law, and the consensus against evil will be the endless source of strength, helping humans overcome all storms of the era. Please continue to follow and accompany us, and do not forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss extremely valuable life lessons in the next bulletins.